And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Anytime you're talking about fundamentals in a market and direction, fundamentals take a little bit of time to play out.
We got crude oil today, kind of trading yesterday's value area really nicely, low to high.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon, friends and traders. Welcome to the Market Recap. I'm Dan Hodgman. It is October 4th. I hope you guys all had a great day. George, you got it pretty close, spot on here. Really a choppy day. I mean, unless you caught the sell-off right off the open in the equities early, you caught the long on that rally there in crude oil. Other than those moves right on the opens, pretty choppy day. But we got a lot of news that's happening right now. People are running from tech. Does this have something to do with what's going on with Facebook right now? I think last I looked, Facebook was down 6%. And still is broken. You can't access it. Neither can you access Instagram, WhatsApp. How much of an effect is that going to have on stocks like Facebook? Does that lead into bigger effects in the NASDAQ? There's a lot of information there. There's a lot of digestion we have to be thinking about there with those things. You've got crude oil running to 7-year highs. But then you also have this disconnect between NASDAQ and things like the Dow. Dow down 350 today. NASDAQ down 285 points. It's a huge down day. That was 2%. You've got the S&Ps only down 1%. So it's definitely something worth keeping an eye on. So it's going to be something we're going to dive in tomorrow on Coach's Playbook. We're going to talk about these current market states that we've got going on between the equities and the energies. We're going to kind of deep dive into those things. You've got natural gas continuing to run higher. You got crude oil on this tear to the upside. I'm glad I filled my truck with gas last week, not this week, because I'm sure the gas prices are going to continue to go up. We've got stuff going on in Congress, right? There's more of this infrastructure bill. Not even going to say much more than that. We can all look into that and make our own decisions. But basically, they're pushing to continue to raise this debt limit. Leave it at that. So you got a lot going on out there. We're going to take a look at these charts here in just a minute. I want to say hello to everyone first, and then we'll kind of dive into things. George, good to see you. Subconscious Bill. Spencer, good to see you. Former Vice President Joe Biden's son. How are you? Earned my funded account. Way to go, Spencer. Super excited for you there. Absolutely excited for you. Justin, Energy to the Moon and NQ sold. Absolutely. And hopefully it stays broken. The last 10 minutes, and then Dave, Dow was crazy. Absolutely. I mean, we're seeing it right now. You just saw crude oil move, or NASDAQ's moving, 0.2%, like nothing. I looked right before we clicked live 5 minutes ago, basically, and it was down 2.2%. Now it's down 1.9. So these things are moving all over the place. The big short's begun, huh, Mart? Jerry's Wake, good to see you as well. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at these charts here, see what we got going on. Also, if you guys missed it last week on Thursday, sat down with Michael Patak. We actually worked together in the office. It was pretty exciting. Answered a bunch of questions. As we continue to keep doing those live Q&As with him, make sure you can continue to send in any questions. If we didn't get to your questions then, you can always drop them here with me on the recap in the afternoons, or with John in the morning on the market forecast, or on Tuesdays with the Coach's Playbook. So let's go ahead and take a look at these charts here and see what we had going on today. As always, we're starting with this crude oil market. And like we said, really the move was off the open this morning. Took off. Whoops, I've got it adjusted incorrectly. Here we go. So we opened up this morning far away from settlement price. Strong rally to the upside. Market opens up at 8 o'clock this morning, and it is, again, continued in direction. So really that's what we're looking for. If you could have recognized that in that first minute, recognize we're going to be weak to the short side, continue with trend, That's going to be our opportunity. And then we started to see chop. We started to see extreme chop, and this is where you got to be cautious. Well, basically what's going on right now, OPEC came out this morning, and what was the actual news that they said? Let me pull this up because I want to get my OPEC ops against big output boost, pushing oil prices to 7-year high. So basically, people were trying to push OPEC to increase output. They declined. They said no, sending stocks higher. They're sending oil higher. They must have some strong investments in things like Tesla and Rivian and these electric cars. Market takes off to the upside and really just falls into a tight range all day long. This is where it gets really tough to trade. That's where I'm sitting on my hands if I missed that initial move. So let's go ahead and look at this S&P 500. Now, S&P sets up nicely here today. S&P opening up right at, I don't have my volume profile on here. There we go. So we open up this morning just shy of Friday's point of control. Market opens up, makes an attempt to get to point of control, fails, starts to rotate lower. As soon as this market starts to rotate lower, we have to look to continue with that directional move. Where can we see this thing going? Well, the first place that I'm looking at is right here, value area low from Friday. What do we look at below that? Regular trading hour, regular session low. That's exactly where this market moves right down to. We start to fall into a little bit of a range. Works our day all day long. We try to work from Friday's low right up back to value area. Struggles to get back into value, accepting lower. Now we are pushing this another lower day. So this market's continuing in its trend lower. What we want to keep an eye on. We want to keep an eye on this swing low from last Thursday or Friday morning, Thursday night. That's where we want to start to pay attention to this market. Again, same thing. If you're not catching that move off the open, it's really going to be difficult to trade this thing because it gets extremely choppy. Swings are all over the place. Now the same thing's going to apply as we look to NASDAQ here. NASDAQ sets up really nicely off the open. It gives us an opportunity to catch the short. We can look at this market. It is trading and accepted into Friday's value area prior to opening up. We opened up. We were trying to trade outside of it. We were trying to trade outside of Friday's value area and quickly rejects. Rejection right away. This is where you can look at this market and say, here's my chance to see if I can stay inside Friday's range. See this market rotate from high to low. Does exactly that. We've got a beautiful target of point of control. We've got a beautiful target of overnight swing low. We have two great targets, pretty darn close for a really nice setup and a nice trade. We can continue to look lower to value area low from Friday. Market does that. Blows right through all three levels. Continues to work lower, and this market marks a new low and continuing that breakdown to the low side. And right now I'm just seeing some headlines coming through. Facebook is suffering its worst outage since 2008. I wonder how many people are freaking out over this that they can't sit there and scroll through their Facebook. 1 second, let me make an adjustment here. There we go. All right, so this market, like we said, really to me, quick recognize, looking at where our location of our trade is off the open. Off the open, we're trading right at value area high from Friday. First instinct is look to see this market rotate back inside. Market rotates back inside. 1 checkpoint, 2 checkpoints, 3 checkpoints. Market checks them all, moves right through them. Really good opportunity here today in the NASDAQ next. And remember, guys, this is what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. These value areas and points of control are showing pretty darn good strength, even somewhat stronger than when we talk about settlement price. Obviously, settles is one of the first things you're going to look at each and every day. Remember, and I'll kind of dive into that here in a minute. Actually, I'll dive into that afterwards, why settlement's so important. Gold. So gold opens up this morning, and we kind of fall into a little bit of chop. We finally accept inside Friday's value area. 1 day, 2 day, and now 3 days, marking highs. You're seeing some concern. You're starting to see the shift of power, the fear in the equity markets. They're starting to transition to things such as gold. We're seeing treasuries trending higher. Now you're seeing gold marking new highs each and every day, bringing in new buyers. So we have the transition of powers. There's that rush to the risk off scenario. So what do we got here today? I'm looking at this market. I'm waiting to see if we hold Friday's lows. So we do exactly that. We break right down to Friday's low, get a great bounce. Market rallies right back up inside, continues with trend. Next, let's go ahead and look at the euro, and we'll be getting close. Euro, little breakdown here. Market opens up on its high. rotates lower. Great opportunity. Same situation. You're looking off that open. If on the open that market doesn't start marking new highs and take off to the upside, but starts to rotate lower, that's where you start to find your opportunity. You're going to understand your direction. You can trade in within that direction. Now we start to see some chop throughout the day. You get the short off the open, and come lunchtime or even a little bit before lunch, this market falls into tight range. What's that telling us? This market kind of does this pretty regularly. Looking at Friday, same situation. By 10 o'clock, we fall into some choppy trade. So same thing, day over day, this market's done by 10 o'clock. Maybe that's something to start registering within ourselves, that we stay away from the euro after 10 o'clock in the morning, or 10 a.m. Central Time. Next, let's look at the 10-year note. We'll get on out of here. 10-year note opens up right at point of control, checks point of control from Friday, breaks back down, rotates down below value area from Friday, but it does not accept. It actually rejects trading outside of value and wants to get back inside. Market comes back inside, rotates higher, the high of value. Once again from Friday, this market really traded value areas extremely nicely here today. All right, so we got some good opportunity. Choppy day. It sounds like some people struggled, and I get that. This market got really choppy. If you're not catching that initial directional move right off the open, and basically every single one of these markets, it got a little tough because you're falling into tight ranges. You look at something like crude oil. Crude oil rallies up above 78. 78 kind of rejects it. It's not accepting yet up above 78. So that market bounces to 78, breaks back down. And we're seeing these little sell-offs. They're 40, 50 cents. So they're steep moves. But after you see the market in the first hour of the day run from $76 to 78, so you're seeing these $2 moves. It gets a little tough to find those opportunities. So what else we got going on? Let's take a quick look at our Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is actually up a little bit here today, trading 49,700. Looking at some of the other stuff we like to watch around here, well, stocks are down across the board. So is Airbnb. Airbnb is trading 165.50, down 4.9%. Our meme stocks continue to break to the downside. $171.36. AMC, $36.77. Tesla, well, you got gas prices continuing to soar. Electric vehicles are looking even more exciting. Tesla up a little bit here today. Rallies up over $800 to $805 a share, but breaks down at the end of the day here, trading $781 a share. Robinhood down a little bit today, trading $40.93 in our VIX. VIX is no surprise. VIX is up, holding above 20. Trading 23.09 right now in the VIX. Seeing a lot of comments going in here. Let's take a quick glance, make sure there's nothing I missed. S&P held below its 100-day moving average for the third consecutive session today, something that has not happened since the pandemic. Nice one to point out there, Justin. Also, great target. It was a 200-day moving average down below, which is where that market kind of broke down too. Really nice moves there. Merck, good to see you. Theodore, good to see you. Captain Price, messy day for you on the ES. Hey, I get it. Like we said, you don't catch that initial move and it starts to fall into a choppy range. It's tough to trade that. We're all saying the same thing here. Energy is where the money is getting made. Natural gas and crude oil. Yeah, there's definitely opportunity. I'm still one that says stay away from natural gas when you're seeing it run $600 or 700 ticks in a day. It's pretty volatile. So be cautious if you're over there trading something like natural gas. All right. A lot of comments here. I hope you guys have all had a great day so far. Looking ahead at the rest of this week, relatively light on the economic calendar, but the big one is going to be Friday. Employment situation is Friday. So 7:30 a.m. Central Time. Make sure you're paying attention to that. But throughout the rest of this week, tomorrow you're going to have international trades and goods at 7:30 a.m. Central Time. PMI composite will be at 8:45 a.m. and ISM at 9. Throughout the rest of the week, ADP employment report Wednesday, same with crude number, jobless claims on Thursday, natural gas number for you nat gas traders. Other than that, going to be a relatively quiet week there. Lastly, let's go take a quick look at this date in history. I've got, well, it froze. Let's make an attempt here, see if we can get it to work. Yes, we can. I got one for us in 1955, the Brooklyn Dodgers. Yes, Brooklyn, no longer, not the LA Dodgers just yet, but the Brooklyn Dodgers won their first ever World Series, 1955, beating the New York Yankees 2-0. All right, guys, that's what I got for us here today. John will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Time with the market forecast. So until then, stay safe, wash your hands, trade smart, and trade well. And don't forget, tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Time, Coach's Playbook. Like we said, we're going to sit down. We're going to talk energies and equities, what's going on there. We're going to talk about these market states, what's happening, and how to get involved in them. So lots coming up. Thanks for joining me. Like I said, John will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Time with the market forecast. So until then, stay safe, wash your hands, trade smart, and trade well. Look forward to seeing